Alright guys, find and center of a herringbone. Really quick and dirty way to do it. Okay, just like straight lay on herringbone, you're going to want to find the best way to center the tiles. If this was straight lay, you mark the center of the tile off the center line. See, it comes up with a ripper. Want to move the tile halfway over, start with a grout joint on that center line, and then that's going to give you the biggest cut over here. So you have your two cross lines, your dead center. Easiest way to find the center of a herringbone is to mark the center of your tile and then do 2 marks 45 that way and line that up with your dead center mark right there. This is the first option. You're gonna dry lay this and see what kind of cuts that gives you on the edge. This were my starting point. I would find out the measurement from that center mark to that point right there, 7.5, and I would make that line 7.5 down so that I knew I was running straight. See, by starting in the center and then figuring out the line on that point, that gave me a reference line to run my points on so that I make sure I'm staying square with everything. Now by dry laying this, I can determine my cuts on the edge. See, this would actually be a pretty good layout. I'm hitting right on the point on that edge, and I'm hitting right on the point on that edge. So this would actually be a pretty nice layout. So then here, for instance, with it being dead center, the distance from here to here, that point to that point, should be the same as this point to that point. That was option 1. If that layout did not work, say you come up with little triangle pieces that you didn't want and you wanted to shift this layout to grow those cuts larger on the sides, this would be your second option. Find dead center of that tile, make your cross marks with your speed square 45 degrees, and then you're just gonna line those points up with your cross reference marks right there. Again, if I were going to go with this scenario, I would measure from my center line to that point right there, say 4 inches. I would come here, mark 4 inches, mark 4 inches. I've marked that line. Now I have a pencil line all the way long to run my point to so that I know I'm staying straight and square. You see, now having that reference point for my marks when I'm tiling this, if I were tiling it, now when I butt my next tile into place, that point's right on that pencil line. This layout in reference to the first one that was scooted over, see, now I have smaller cuts here. Well, that's the easiest way to find center of a herringbone, you guys. Mark the center of your tile, 2 diagonal lines like that. Line those lines up on your cross points. That's option 1. If that layout doesn't work well, find the true center of this whole tile, make your cross lines, and then just line those up with your cross like that. Dead center every time on a herringbone. See you guys.